Hello and welcome. In the world of tech, we always say that change is the only constant. But what's happening with AI, well, that's not just a change. It's a complete ground-shaking shift. Today, we're going to dig into what that means for one of the most vital roles in any data center, the storage engineer. We're going to look at how this job is transforming from managing storage arrays to literally engineering the data pipelines that fuel the AI revolution.
Now, before we really dive in, just a quick heads up. This explainer is part of a series that looks at how job responsibilities in a typical IT department are changing as companies bring in AI. We're also identifying the specific skills you'll need to get ready for these new roles. And just so you know, all this is based on a really detailed report from Virtualization Options LLC, which covers way more than we can get to in the short format. So think of this as your high-level guide to what's coming next.
So that really brings us to the big question, right? AI isn't coming. It's already here. You've probably spent years mastering the art and science of data storage, but the rules of the game are changing, and they're changing fast. This isn't just about learning some new piece of hardware. It's a completely new way of thinking about data. So is your career ready for what's next? Let's figure that out. To really get a handle on where we're going, we've got to start with where we are, or at least where we've been. So let's do a quick recap of the world of the traditional storage engineer, a world that was built on three pillars: stability, reliability, and predictability. For decades, this has been the bread and butter of the job, right? You're planning for capacity, making sure the backups and recovery plans are rock solid, tuning arrays to squeeze out every last drop of performance, and making sure all the virtual machines have the storage they need. I mean, this is the absolute bedrock of enterprise IT. And the main tool of the trade? The SAN, of course. The storage area network was the masterpiece. Building a resilient, high-performance SAN was the pinnacle. The whole game was about low latency and high IOPS for structured things like databases. Everything was designed for one thing: predictability. But, as we're about to see, AI couldn't care less about predictable. Right. So that predictable world is now getting hit by what you can only call a tsunami. AI isn't just another app you install. It's a completely different kind of beast, and it chews through data in ways that our traditional infrastructure just was never, ever built to handle. This slide really tells the whole story. On the left, that's the world we know: structured data, predictable I/O, where low latency is king. But on the right, that's the AI world. We're talking about massive, parallel streams of data. The focus isn't on latency anymore. It's on absolutely insane throughput. The old rulebook, you can pretty much throw it out the window. And when I say insane throughput, the scale is just hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about over 100 gigabytes per second. That's what it takes just to keep a modern cluster of GPUs fed with data. Because here's the thing. An idle GPU is basically the world's most expensive paperweight. And today, storage is the #1 thing that keeps them busy. And it's not just about the raw bandwidth. It's about metadata, too. Some of these AI training jobs need to hit over 1 million separate files every single second. A traditional NAS controller would literally just melt. It's a completely different class of problem that we've never had to solve before at this scale. And this quote just nails it. This transition isn't about just adding a faster box to your rack. You have to totally reconceptualize storage. It's not a separate silo anymore. It's a deeply integrated part of a bigger AI data platform, tied directly into the GPUs, the network, and the entire workflow. Okay, so if the old tools aren't going to cut it, what does the new tech stack actually look like? This next part is all about the essential new technologies that you're going to need to master to build and run storage for this new AI era. First up, parallel file systems. Think of things like Lustre or GPFS. So unlike a traditional NAS, which has one controller, these systems spread, or stripe, data across tons of different servers. This is what lets hundreds of compute nodes in a GPU cluster all hit the data at the exact same time, in parallel. That's how you get that mind-bending throughput we were just talking about. All right, next up is a technology that is an absolute game changer: GPU Direct Storage, or GDS. The old way, data had to travel from storage through the server's CPU and main memory, and then finally over to the GPU. GDS creates a direct superhighway for data to go straight from your storage into the GPU's own memory, completely bypassing the CPU. It's a massive performance boost. So how do we connect all this super fast flash storage together? That's where NVMe over Fabrics, or NVMe OF, comes in.
It lets you take all your fastest NVMe drives, connect them over a high-speed network, and make them look like one giant, blazing fast pool of storage to your GPU cluster. It's all about getting maximum performance with maximum flexibility. And finally, we absolutely have to talk about containers. Almost all modern AI and MLOps workflows are built on Kubernetes. So understanding Kubernetes storage concepts, things like persistent volumes, CSI drivers, and dynamic provisioning, it's not optional anymore. It's a core part of the job. You're the one who has to make sure those training jobs running in containers get the storage they need when and where they need it. So when you put all this new tech together, it really changes the job itself. You're not just a storage admin anymore. You are becoming an engineer of the entire AI data pipeline, and you're responsible for that data through its whole lifecycle. And this lifecycle here, this shows your new scope of work. You're managing where the raw data lands, the systems that clean and version control the datasets, that screaming fast tier for active model training, and then the cheaper, colder tiers for archiving old data. Your job now spans from the moment data is born all the way to when it's put into deep storage. And you know it comes with petabytes and exabytes of data, petabyte and exabyte-sized bills. So a huge part of your new role is going to be cost optimization. You'll be the one designing these intelligent tiering strategies. The hottest data lives on pricey NVMe, but as it cools down, you'll migrate it to slower hard drives or object storage or even the cloud. Balancing that performance against cost is now one of your most critical tasks. Okay, I know that's a lot to take in. The tech is new, the responsibilities are way broader, so you might be wondering, how in the world do I get from here to there? Well, this final section is all about laying out a clear, actionable plan to evolve your skills. First, let's talk about the new foundational skills. Deep Linux knowledge is completely non-negotiable. You'll need to really understand high-speed networking, like InfiniBand or ROS. Automation is everything, so Python scripting and infrastructure as code tools like Terraform and Ansible are essential. And just as important, you need to understand the basics of the AI and machine learning workflows that you're supporting. And here's one possible way to get those skills. The source material suggests a phased approach, which makes a lot of sense. You start with the foundations, Linux, containers, basic AI concepts. Then you move into the core technologies like parallel file systems and Kubernetes. After that, you focus on how to integrate it all and tune for performance. And then finally, you get to the really advanced stuff like architecture. It's a journey for sure, but it's a doable one. So we end up right back where we started, but with a totally new perspective. The storage engineer role isn't going away. If anything, it's becoming more important, more central, and honestly, a lot more exciting than it's ever been. The future of data isn't just about storing it anymore. It's about engineering the pipelines that turn that data into intelligence. So the only question left is, how are you going to engineer it?